Let's get sweaty. Let's get real sweaty. I'm talking rainforest sweaty.
This text object tutorial. How's our time looking? We got 9 minutes in. Doing pretty decent. Okay, so now we got that there. Maybe a little too big. Lower that a little bit. That's not bad. Okay. And we're going to click the font. Here we go. I have a lot of fonts. And I'm going to choose one that is very popular. It's called Bebas. It's very good. Let me minimize this real quick. Okay, so right away you can see it. It's a really, really cool text. It's really gives like a really cool feel to it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna make a new material. I'm just gonna do a random color. I like a nice blue color, maybe a little bit lighter. Get a little reflection on, brightness down. Fresnel looks pretty good. Okay, just drag that on. Let's render this out real quick. And it looks pretty decent. But to make it look even cooler, we want to click on the text object, go to caps, choose the fillet cap, make sure that looks pretty decent right there actually. So yeah, make sure the fillet cap is it's 5 meters, and then fillet cap over here, start fillet cap, and then the end fillet cap. Make sure it's like the same exact shit. Still motion track. Let's see how it looks. Looks pretty good. Okay, but I think it's time to add a little bit of a shadow to this. So what we're gonna do is we want to go over here. There's two different ways you could do it. I like using a plane. Some people like doing the floor. I'll just do the floor because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna do that. Fuck that. I'm doing a plane. I think it's easier. All right. So you got a plane right here. What you want to do is make sure the plane is like basically touching the text. You want to make sure it's really, really close to touching it, if not touching it barely. But you want to make sure it's like pretty close. I'm gonna raise it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So rotate that. The text is right there. Let's make the plane a little bit smaller because it only really needs to be directly under the text if you want to, just to make a good shadow. Okay, so let's render this out. So you guys are like, what the hell? There's a black plane in the middle of my thing. What you want to do is take the material that we put onto the background and drag it onto the plane. And this is where it gets tricky. For projection, make sure it's at frontal. Projection has to be frontal. You're going to right click on the plane, go to Cinema 4D tags, and go to compositing. Make sure self-shadowing is checked off and compositing background is checked on. So now when you render it out, it's going to be like the background's there. Just ignore the side stuff that's not going to be there in the final render. So I think we're ready for some shadows now. What you just want to do is put in the light, drag it up, go to shadow, shadow map soft, and let's see how it looks. You can see the whoa, that's a really big shadow. I think the text looks kind of badass though. So let's rotate this around, and you want to get the light to be, make sure it's like going good with the background. So drag it up a bit, so it's making like it's like a sun effect. Let's see what we got. Now that looks much better. But the only problem is that it's going through this thing over here. So let me see if I can move it over a bit. Drag that over its head. So let's see how this looks. No, that's fine, just for tutorial purposes. But see, look, it also gives like a really dark looking text effect. Let me just experiment with something real quick. If I put a light here and drag it to the front, will it still give me a shadow? It will. Okay. So yeah, that looks really good. So right now we got a motion track text all ready to be rendered out. Let's go over my render settings real quick. I always go to, make sure you click the render settings, go to output. I do 1280 by 720. Make sure the frame range is all frames, and make sure I save it as a QuickTime movie because it renders much quicker. So let's do tutorial and click save. Now, depending on how you made the text might have shifted now, and see how it's over it. So now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to rearrange our oh, hang on, let me fix that. We gotta rearrange our text and move it back a bit. So let's turn it to the side, pull it back, and let's see how it looks now. That looks better. That one shadow right there is really annoying the shit out of me, so I'm sorry guys, I really want to get rid of that. Just make it look perfect. Drag it over. Okay. So let's see. Fuck it. Alright, that's good. I'm going to render this out, and then I'll come back to you guys in After Effects. So, see you in a few. Hey, I'm back, and now we're in After Effects. So, time to get pretty with all the color correction and all that cool shit. So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to import our clip. Look at that, it's right over here. So, here we go. We're going to just drag that into our new composition. And here's what we got so far. Not bad. Text is moving beautifully with the fucking background. So what we're gonna do now is add a cool color effect. I have magic bullet looks, which is probably one of the most best ideas to use for color corrections. I'll just go through a bunch of them with you. I think that looks really cool, so we're gonna click on that. It's giving a nice little shiny effect, and I think it looks cool. It looks cool. So now what we could do, what did I say I was gonna do? Oh yeah, we're gonna do a nice little camera wiggle. So we're gonna just zoom out the clip a little bit. That looks good. Okay. So right away we're gonna click a new. We're gonna go layer, new, null object, and layer, new, camera. It doesn't matter the size. I have a 28mm. So now what you can see is that the null object, we're going to be doing basically everything based off the null object. So here's what we're going to do. Going to take the null object. Oops, my bad. We're going to take the camera, click position, and you're going to alt click. Not control click, my bad. Alt click. Holy shit. Okay, now you're going to open parentheses and wiggle. No, open parentheses, I'm sorry. Wiggle. Open parentheses, and you want to get a nice smooth one, so I'm going to go 2, comma, and let's do 35. Close parentheses, do not hit enter, just click on the outside. Nothing is happening yet, because now what you need to do is take the null object, parent it to the camera. Still nothing, because now then you got to take the clip and parent it to the null. So now you can see you get a nice smooth little thing, and even you can adjust this however you want, because if you think that's too much, you can then go back to the position and you can alt click on it and then do like wiggle, even if you think like 1 is good enough. The first number indicates how many times you want it to move a second, and 35 is how many times you want it to move. So 1 I think looks a little bit better, and if not, guys, you can adjust it any way you want. So that's basically it for this motion tracking tutorial. I am sweaty, and I'll put the final project at the end of this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching.
Let's get sweaty. Let's get sweaty. I'm talking rainforest sweat.